We have a notion of the president as a great, strong leader who dominates the political landscape and creates opportunities, paving the way for change. Nothing could be further from the truth. The nature of the presidency makes it difficult for the president to keep his promises and to meet the American people's expectations. We are a constitutional system where power is divided. If we were a parliamentary system and the head of government was a prime minister, we would have a chief executive who could usually rely on a supportive coalition in the legislature. So the leader would be able to make good on his party's promises because he could rely on support from the legislature. In the United States, it's quite different. The president can't rely on support from the legislature. And in fact, it is often the case that the opposition party controls one or both houses of Congress. So the president is going to meet resistance there. We also know that the president can't depend on the American public rallying to his side and trying to push Congress in support of the president. That isn't how our system works. The fact is that the president cannot create opportunities for change. The president is a facilitator of change, and the great leadership skills are recognizing opportunities already there in the president's political environment and then exploiting those opportunities. So the president is very dependent on the hand the voters have dealt him in his own election and in the election of members of Congress. So if the voters have dealt him a hand where he has large majorities of his party in Congress, which is unusual, then he'll be able to do things much more easily. If the voters have put majorities of the opposition party in Congress, then it'll be much more difficult for the president. So the key political skills for the president are not convincing the public to support his policies, convincing members of Congress who would otherwise vote the other way to change and support his policies, but it's recognizing what is the likelihood that people are going to be predisposed to support his policies and then take advantage of those predispositions. That is the kernel of effective leadership in the American presidency. Once we understand this, we can have more reasonable expectations of the presidency, and we'll evaluate presidents more appropriately, and we evaluate them not on creating opportunities for change, but managing the situations they find themselves in most effectively. So when you go into the voting booth, you can evaluate presidential candidates not on some grand notion of their ability to move people in a direction that they otherwise wouldn't go, but on their ability to recognize the opportunities in the political landscape and then manage those most effectively.